Hey guys, today's sponsor wants to ask you if you think it's okay to drive stoned. The truth is your reaction time slows way down when you're high, and not only are you in danger, but so is everyone around you, so please stop kidding yourself. If you've been using marijuana in any form, please don't get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Learn more at nhtsa.gov. Drive high, get a DUI. Let's enjoy some sober driving, all right? But for now, enjoy the show.
This is the Art of Wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana.
Oh, all right. How you guys doing? Come on in, sit down, relax. You're about to listen to The Art of Wrestling, a professional wrestling podcast. It's a live podcast. It's a personal journal. It's an entryway into the minds and souls, the hearts, and lives of the people involved in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host. My name is Colt Cabana. I am Fringe. I am a comedian. I'm an entertainer. I'm a promoter and a producer of shows, many Scottish shows. Most importantly, though, I am a professional wrestler, and I am coming to you live from my studio apartment in Chicago, Illinois. Before we go any further, this is a fan-supported and listener-supported podcast supported by people just like you. We give it to you free of charge every single Thursday. ColtCabana.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts from. A couple great ways that you can support, rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, just like Kyle DeWeese did. Kyle, send me your email address, and I'll send you that DDT autograph ticket. Other ways to support: social media, spread the word. The best way that you can support, though, ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com, t-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, DVDs, digital downloads, a children's book, and a brand new t-shirt, Wrestling for Freedom of Speech, with a beautiful design by Robert John Patterson. These are great ways to support. ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com. I am home. I am in Chicago. I am getting ready for All In Weekend. Everybody should be very excited. Next week's podcast should be very fun. But this week is the final week of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival series of 2018. Every single August since 2013 on The Art of Wrestling, there has been a month of Edinburgh Fringe podcasts, and today is the last one. It was a fun week. It's been a great month. We're going to play some clips from the last week of the shows, and I just want to say I couldn't have been happier with how this month went. It's something I look forward to every single year, and I hope you enjoy the same enthusiasm that I do when it comes to the Fringe. The very first show of this episode was on Wednesday, August 22nd. Alice Fraiser was the guest. Here are some notes before going into this, so you will be on the same page. Brendon came out shouting that it was laundry day, and that's because he was wearing Bermuda shorts and a tank top. I always wore shorts and a cut-off t-shirt. I did it because the room was so hot. He was doing it because he had no clean clothes. Also, there is a train joke that I make, and that is based off of the opening monologue. Brendon and I have this kind of setup with Scotty Goldman where there is kind of a Holocaust train joke in there. It's done in good taste, which is a weird statement to make, but believe me, it's for the better part of Jewish wrestling lore. Okay, that's everything you should know, and enjoy Alice Fraiser.
All right, welcome, the First Lady of Bad Wrestling.
Yeah.
What a title to have.
I feel, actually, hang on. I feel like we should all stand up and have you have a proper entrance against, while we all go, ba na 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 na. No, okay.
I was with you.
Laundry day. Okay, fine. Oh, fucking that caved in fast, didn't it?
Yeah. Stop trying to relive your glory days, Brendon.
These are it.
I'm trying to milk him for all he's worth here. Welcome to our show.
Yeah, ride that shouty train to mediocre town.
It's better than the other train he wanted me to take. First of all, you came out to me and you were like, ooh, I have this fun wrestling anecdote, maybe?
Sort of a vaguely wrestling-related anecdote. Yeah, I was on a plane, and it was quite an empty plane, and there was a giant man sat next to me, a very big, giant man, and I could tell he was a wrestler because he smelled like a wrestler, and
I'll waft myself over to you.
By the way, you need to stress baby oil and coconut.
Yes.
And cocaine.
Yeah, that's right.
He was a very meek American man, and he was reading a book about The Undertaker, and he was consistently asking for cookies and milk, and he was like a giant baby, and I just wanted to hug him.
And who was that man?
I don't know. He was an amateur pro wrestler, and he was going to Shropshire.
You fucking tease!
He was...
Jesus Christ.
He was going to Shropshire to do amateur pro wrestling, and he told me all about the Shropshire amateur pro wrestling scene.
Wow, let's try and work this out.
What is Shropshire? Is that a wrestling promotion? Shropshire Pro Wrestling?
Yeah.
It sounds like a Jewish name. Scott. I wish I was Scotty Shropshire.
Get up there and West Country it for me. I'm going to book you in a combine harvester match. Is it West Country? Did I fuck it up? It is. Well, oh, okay. Well, fucking meet me halfway, cunts.
Alice, you're very well read. Is that correct?
Yes. No, I don't know. How do you...
Hey, well, I'll tell you what. In my life, I've probably read around...
I mean, the answer is yes, but
Yes.
I have to do self-deprecation because this is comedy,
Yes.
so there's no room for two...
No. You have to do self-deprecation because we work in England and we're convicts and we're supposed to know our place. I'll toughen the fuck up, cunts! Witch doctors! Witch doctors!
So, since I turned 18, I have only read one book. It was the Mick Foley book. I'm 38 years old. Have you read more than one book in your life?
Yes.
Okay, so you're way more well-read than I am. Had you ever read that Undertaker book?
I have never read the Undertaker book. The only book I've read on wrestling is Roland Barthes' essay on the spectacle of wrestling.
Was he a wrestler?
No, he was a big wrestling fan. This is like way before it became a big deal and everything. And he said, I'm gonna quote. Yes, I think it was Roland Barthes. I'm joking. Of course, it was fucking Roland Barthes. He said the public is completely uninterested in knowing whether the contest is rigged or not, and rightly so. It abandoned itself to the primary virtue of the spectacle, which is to abolish all motives and all consequences. What matters is not what it thinks, but what it sees, and that is why I believe that wrestling is a perfect analogy to American politics.
I didn't even know how to begin to translate.
I know. It would honestly take me like a half-hour tutoring session for you to break that down for me.
Wait, okay, how about this? You know how The Rock was...
Is the next president of the United States?
Yes. Following in the WWE Hall of Fame Trump footsteps. No, he was. First he was the people's elbow, right? Mm-hmm. And then he became
he was the people's champ, you mean?
He's a people's champion. He did the people's elbow. And then he became the corporate. He sold out, right? And then he did the corporate elbow, and he turned heel for a while. And he came on in a suit and was all like, meh, 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 meh. And then he turned back into...
Greatest promo man in history. He came back and went, meh, 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 meh.
And then he turned...
Meh, meh, meh.
And then he turned back into, he turned over and then became back the people's elbow and so on and so forth. And now he's in the Forbes 500 richest people in the world, so he was lying the whole time.
Wrestling.
Wrestling. Yeah.
Corporate, was that a thing, the corporate elbow? It was. You know more about wrestling than I do.
She's a fucking walking encyclopedia.
That's amazing.
But also she's so clever that she doesn't patronize. She just delights with facts. You know what I mean? It's like some people are like, no, you moron. Whereas Alice goes, oh, you know. And then puts it on a plate for you. Often, when she's on the show,
Always making the women cooking analogies.
Damn you, Brendon. Damn you.
Yeah. How did you manage to shit on that compliment, by the way?
I'm so sorry.
That is such a female comedian thing to do. It was a massive compliment. It's like, no, I'm a piece of shit and you're a sexist.
But I need to do that out of self-defense. To be fair, he gave me a bite of his sandwich that he'd made, so he is...
I'm a bit of a cook. I cook.
Yeah. This is a feminist you see before you.
Hey, don't trust those fucking cunts. Male feminists. No, don't get me fucking started, male feminists. Oh, I'm a feminist. What? You want to steal that from them too, you greedy cunts? Shut the fuck up. It's not my place. No, you fucking roll and shut your fucking mouth. Meh, meh, meh.
All right, Alice.
Look, sexual harassment isn't all bad. It's a beautiful historical thing. The first sun rose over the first humans and someone went, hey, look at this, and this was his erect penis. And now people are using the Apple Drop function on their phones to put pictures of their penises into strangers' phones in the subways on New York, and on one hand that is horrifying, on the other hand, what is art?
Well, Alice, I'm about to show you art in the form of videos. Alice, Brendon, the crowd today, I have a question for you.
You're a very beautiful man.
Oh, thank you. I can bounce my boobs up and down.
I can too, but no one wants to see it. Yes.
Yeah. You want to watch a little wrestling?
Yes!
Oh, my God.
Well, since the Fringe is over, you can't go see Alice's show. I did go see Alice's show. She did a double act with a robot. It was very funny. She does have a podcast, though. You can listen to it. It's called Tea with Alice. On Thursday, August 23rd, Australian comedian Tom Walker was on the show. And I warned you, there was always going to be some kind of technical problem. Sadly, the tech didn't push stop on the recorder and just kind of took it out, and it corrupted the file. But I did tape all the episodes, so this comes from the iPhone. It's still very listenable, too. And some notes from the show. There was a puppy in the very first row. A fan brought a dog to the show. And there's a comedian named Dara O'Brien. He's famous over in the UK. He's on Mock of the Week. His name will come up. He's like the Conan O'Brien equivalent, kind of, over in the UK. Earlier before, Brendon and I were telling a story, how him and Brendon were talking. Brendon introduced him to me, and I had no clue who he was, because I'm an American wrestling jock boy, and I don't know the culture of the UK that well, except for professional wrestling. And he didn't introduce himself, so I just said, who are you? And Dara, I think, was taken back by it a little bit, because that's not a thing he probably has to do, is introduce himself, as everyone probably knows who he is. But I had no clue, and it made for a little fun story to tell before we got into the show. So enjoy this clip with Tom Walker.
I came in my full pro wrestling regalia. I've got a bum bag, I've got a shirt hiding a physique I'm not proud of. I've got it all, baby. Hey, hello guys, thanks for having me.
Of course. And we do have a puppy in the front row. This is a real thing.
It's freaking Colt out. I love it. He's fucking us scared. Colt's the only person at the Fringe who doesn't know how big he is.
No. Fucking Dara O'Brien was bigger than I was, and I was scared of that fucker.
Come on, he's just a giant egg.
Oh, I hope the gobbledygooker comes out of him. That was a ref swing, ref. What?
That was a ref swing?
A ref swing.
Yeah, we're starting to get fringy. There's hipsters in, hey?
Well, we brought the hipster comedian.
That's me. Hey. You're right, I'm not popular. Everyone who's here wondering who this cunt is, you are correct. You haven't missed the reading. This is the level of confusion you're supposed to be sitting with. But he looks like the other comedian. No, I'm just white.
And I'll ask this question to both of you guys. Do you have a favorite animal of wrestling past?
Oh man, you brought up the gobbledygooker. I think that is the best. That's my favorite wrestling moment of all time. The fact that just for months an egg was ringside and they cut to a man to do dedicated egg updates. With a ticker tape as well. Oh man, it's the best. It's the best thing that's ever happened.
Wasn't it also, there was talk of, people were expecting the Undertaker was going to come out of it?
People were expecting Ric Flair to hatch out of an egg. Yeah. And then had the audacity to be disappointed when it was a big bird. How dare you ever think wrestling fans deserve what they want?
Yeah, that's true. Tom, usually I like to, this is our kind of corner of the Edinburgh Fringe, the wrestling world, and we have guests who know a lot about wrestling, some who know nothing about wrestling, and I always just like to say, like, what is your memories of childhood, or if I say professional wrestling, your thoughts, or what you're into, or what you were into?
Sure, I'm kind of a modern wrestling fan, in that I'm now, in my mind, too busy to do anything other than read results. Like, I exclusively keep up to date with wrestling by reading, like, oh, that person won, that is presumably good.
Yeah! What the fuck is that? What are we doing? It's a predetermined sport! And we're looking at the stats! What the fuck are we?
You could genuinely entertain me just as much by just with an almanac, me just reading the results of horse races.
Yeah!
Oh, congratulations, Lucky Leaf Clover. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
But at least that was like a genuine outcome.
Yeah, it was up in the air.
We're looking at it going, oh, Seth Rollins went over tonight. It's like, who gives a fuck? Doesn't he mean it? He's not closer to the title because of it.
I love your realization voice.
There's a fox somewhere nearby.
You turn into Frankie.
You're taking it home to line your nest.
You can be Coco Beware's parrot.
Hey, Coco, how about some Coke? Hey, Coco, now we've done some Coke, why don't we do some Coke? Hey, Coco, I'll suck your dick. Give me some Coke, hey, fast.
There must be some...
Wait a minute, hang on.
Okay.
Toughen the fuck up, cunts. All right, listen, you're not allowed to eat thin-skins because you're fucking wrestling fans. You like a genre where black guys play witch doctors.
Tom, who's your favorite black guy witch doctor?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. And now to deliver the answer that couldn't possibly be clipped. An absolute joy to be lured here into a trap.
I would have to say mine is Kamala, the Ugandan headhunter.
Ugandan giant, wasn't he?
He's a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to be put in a box. Yeah. He had Headhunter as a fallback if Giant didn't work out.
I'm a man of the theatre. I refuse to be typecast. I can play Witch Doctor Giant and what is it? Witch Doctor
Headhunter.
Witch Doctor Headhunter. I'm a man of many heads.
Well, you see, when we started the character, the moon was on the belly and the stars on the nipples. But then we realized it could rotate freely with every event.
Why do I get the feeling Kamala, Ugandan giant, classically trained British actor, is going to be featuring a lot this evening?
Yes, we would jabber on the way to the ring, but we always made sure to have a secret behind it.
Kamala, you're up in 5. Sort the pros.
Well, let me put down this skull, yeah, and pick up my wrestling skull, yeah. Here's a Hamlet skull and a ring skull.
You know what else we call it? The Scottish skull. You never mention the name of the great bard.
I'm going to ask you, Tom. I'm going to ask you, Brendon. I'm going to ask you, audience. Are you ready to watch a little wrestling?
Just like Alice, this is the first time Tom Walker was on the show with us, and I look forward to having him on next year if he shows up at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And speaking of the Fringe, let's remember that the whole Edinburgh Fringe series is sponsored by Beer 52. They're based out of Edinburgh, and that's why they make a great sponsor. And for those that live in the UK, they want to send you a free case of craft beer. For real, just pay $2.95 shipping and they'll send you a free case just to show you how good their beer is. They're assuming it's so good, you're going to want to sign up. And that might be the case. Beer 52 is the world's most popular monthly craft beer discovery club. Every month they focus on a new country or a theme. Also, there's no minimum commitment. Take these first free beers, and if you don't dig them, you can cancel or even pause at any time. If you want to stay in, though, they'll send you 8 of the most incredible craft beers a month. It's kind of like Pro Wrestling Crate, but without the shirts and with delicious beer. Just head over to beer52.com/Colt and claim your free case of beer today. That's the word beer, the number 52.com/Colt. And the next show was Friday, August 24th. It was Glenn Wool, and Glenn wasn't supposed to be on the show. Alex Edelman was supposed to be on the show, but he got nominated for one of the best shows in Edinburgh, and he was kind of pulled in every single direction. So we made a last-minute change, and we brought Glenn onto the show. A little context, Glenn had a broken arm. He got in a bike accident while at the Fringe, and that's some information you should know. Now have a fun listen to Glenn.
You made the reference outside to who you would be like now, right? Your arm is like.
Yeah, Cowboy Bob Orton.
Oh, nice.
That's right.
He knows the references.
Yeah. He wore a cast.
But that means my arm's not actually hurt, which is a lie. But then wrestling's not real.
Whoa! Hey, look.
But sports entertainment is.
Yeah. Like, the kid fucking thing was fine, but you, sir, have gone too far.
They seem more upset about that.
We have weird boundaries here.
Before we get into the clips, I always like to kind of ask the guests, like, what's your, I don't know, like, reference of wrestling? If I said professional wrestling, what comes to mind? Who comes to mind? What did you watch maybe as a kid, or what did you like?
Stampede Wrestling. Batten down your hatches and get ready, because here we go, you fucking assholes! That was the day Ed Whalen got fired.
Yeah, that's a deep cut, too. So Stampede Wrestling was only in Canada. And Glenn, you're a Canadian.
Yeah.
And you used to watch Stampede Wrestling?
I did. I used to watch all of the wrestlings in the morning. Like, yeah, they would have NWA before that meant something different. I mean, there was some of them, but they were all witch doctors.
Yeah. I mean... or, as we now know it, the build to Hulk Hogan porn tapes.
I know. But they'd have NWA and then they'd have WWF. Before that meant something different. Now they're all witch doctors.
So much better than Edelman already, isn't he?
Edelman's out there somewhere trying to get these jokes. And then they would have Stampede Wrestling, which was, just as good. But then they'd put the local wrestling on, which was just like fucking 4 dudes and 9 masks.
Which, I mean, that's my profession, and it's so true. Like, that's what we do when we need people. Like, they'll never know the difference.
Yeah, this was before tattoos, ladies and gentlemen. You could pull something like that off. But I ended up seeing a girl once I'd got past that stage in my life. Once I'd gotten over wrestling, I had a date, and that could be a little lesson to some of you. I ended up seeing the girl that ran the cafeteria for the local wrestling, and I went and picked her up. I had to pick her up one night, and I couldn't understand why she wasn't like out of the school gym that they were doing it in. And I came in, I was like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Well, the champ got up on the top rope. And he was not entirely sober. So he fell off, cracked his head open, and we had to call the ambulance." And I was like, "Well, why is everyone still here?" And she was like, "They want to know if the title changed hands."
That is amazing. That is a great story, man. Imagine if that happened at WrestleMania. Yeah, I think now's about a time. We appreciate it. Glenn, I'm going to ask you a question. Brendon, I'm going to ask you a question. Crowd, I will ask you a question. I'm so sorry for the front row. You'll see what happens in 1 second. Do you want to watch a little wrestling? The second to last show was Saturday, August 25th. Ari Shaffir. You might have seen his Netflix special. Not much context from this. Just Ari came on. He did come on with his shirt off because he thought he was getting into wrestling. I mean, he knew what the show was, but he was just getting into the spirit of it. It was super fun. And here's Ari. Now, Ari, did you notice for your theme music, Brendon thought he was doing Hava Nagila, but he was doing the Tetris song.
And you all fell for it. Racists.
Would that be your theme music?
Did you really think that? No, my theme music is "I Am a Real American" by Hulk Hogan.
Oh, nice. So you're gonna say the N-word and then fuck our fucking wives.
Enjoy your country while you still have it, motherfuckers. Trump, what?
Hey, he's involved in the wrestling game.
He is. That's right. That's right. He is. He's one of the best. Probably the best ever.
What happened here?
I don't know. We're mandated to say how great he is.
No, I think he's talking about how did you wind up topless this quick?
Oh,
And
I
your
don't know.
belt undone, too.
Yeah, in case some shit breaks out. You think I want to have to fucking unbuckle my belt like a cheese dick while everyone else is fighting?
In case some,
Oh my God.
in case some shit breaks out. It's so sexually ambiguous as well. Hey, look, you never know when you have to pull your dick out all of a sudden and whip a guy with a fucking leather strap.
I'm not sure exactly the format of this show. I will be pile driving somebody. Is that correct?
Yeah, some kind of whipping match. That's a thing with a belt.
Was this the kind of promo you did when you were Scotty Goldman?
Yeah.
That's why I was skyrocketed to the top.
Yeah. Tell you what, when I get to the ring, I'm going to do wrestle. I'm a thing.
Colt, we're going to spin you and dreidel you right to the top.
Na 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 na. You fell for it again.
Ari, what's your thoughts on professional wrestling? Did you watch as a kid? Did you like wrestling?
I watched in the early days, Hacksaw Jim Duggan days, and yeah, one of my
Wait. Instead of like going full bore, he went Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He went ho.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the time I really got into it. It's one of my favorite memories. Is luckily as a comedian you get to meet fucking cool people, and the Iron Sheik started coming around the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. He pissed himself a lot when he was out.
How good was the coke he had?
Oh, it was great. I actually saw one time Roddy Piper. He started doing comedy for a while, and Sheik came in, and he fucking disappeared to the back. And we're like, you don't want to say hi to Sheik? He goes, dude, I'm fucking trying to be sober. I can't hang around that coke head.
That's true. You get a contact high from that bloke.
Yeah, one of my favorites, though, one time I was on stage, and just Sheik came in. He took a shining to me, and he was like... He just interrupted me. I was on stage in front of a crowd and just stood in front. Like he just goes, give it up for one number one Jew, Ari Shaffir. He faggot. He humbled himself to Sheiky. He I'm number one Jew. He faggot. I was like, all right, thanks, Iron.
I like how his first name to you is Iron.
Yeah.
Thanks, Iron.
Being a proud member of the Jewish tribe, do you remember Barry Horowitz like as a kid? Is that a name that sounds familiar to you?
It does sound familiar. I remember.
Yeah, I love
Barry. Is that Barry O? No.
No,
that's pretty deep.
But
Also,
he got touched up. He was one of the people that got touched up and then sued, didn't he?
It's very deep, but yes.
What do you
Either
mean?
way, the noise someone made there, I didn't know whether that was an exasperated or you were just coming.
What do you mean touched up?
He got touched by.
He got molested by a guy.
Touched by an angel.
Fun.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I don't need any more lawsuits.
Yeah, fuck. True that.
Barry Horowitz was a Jewish wrestler, the only Jewish wrestler. And I remember watching on the television and being like, "Oh my God, there's one of us. We can be wrestlers." And it was my Jewish pride was like so big. But then he lost every single match, and I was like, "Well, at least we get to be on TV." We don't get to win.
I miss the jobber days as well. I miss like the guys that just in the superstars of wrestling when it was like it wasn't competitive matches all the time. But the jobbers were kind of my favorite because they'd have to find a way to like my favorite wrestler of all time is Iron Mike Sharp because whenever he wrestled, he always made noise from start to finish. And I'm pretty sure I based the first 10 years of my career on him where the entire match.
I'm Brendon Barnes.
Yes.
Ah!
Yeah. Basically, you go, "Ah! What? Come on, referee!" And apparently he did that like off stage as well. He had like he'd turn up to the locker room and he'd go, "Iron Mike Sharp's putting on his boots. Iron Mike Sharp is fucking putting on some baby oil. Iron Mike Sharp lost. Iron Mike Sharp's gonna have some showers."
Shall we watch a little wrestling?
I would love that.
And of course, no more shows. I saw Ari's show at the Fringe. It was great. I actually saw all of their shows. I saw Alice's, Tom Walker's, Glenn Wool, and Ari's. And I only see the good ones, so you know they were good. We do have another great sponsor on the show, and this is for the sports fans who like to bet on sports. Now, I don't know who's going to win what match, right? My only prediction is the Western Michigan Broncos will lose every football game because they redshirted me and they never let me play it down. But if you think you know who's going to win the games, you got to check out MyBookie. MyBookie has been in business for years. They have great reviews online, and their mobile site is easy to use. Not to mention, they have in-game live betting and the most rewarding player perks in the biz. Plus, for you fantasy players out there, you can even bet the over-under on how many fantasy points a player will score in each game. So lay down some cash and win big today. You win, they pay. That rhymed. Join now and MyBookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar. Use the promo code Cabana when creating your account and claim up to $1,000 in free play. That's MyBookie. And don't forget to use the promo code Cabana when creating your account to claim the bonus. You play, you win, you get paid. And with that, the last show, the finale, Sunday, August 26th. We had about 7 guests on who just came in, watched 5 minutes of clips with us, and we kind of had a rotating crew. John Hastings was the last guest, and Brendon Burns wanted to make an official message, so he did, and here it is.
So, as we come to the end, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we've all got nothing to plug, but as some of you may have read on Facebook or on Twitter, I've been doing the festival for nearly 22 years, since 1996, and I'm not getting any younger, and I think it might be time to wind it down a bit. And I've loved this show. I've loved this audience. It's been a real fun 6 years for me. But I think in typical Arn Anderson fashion, I think we all agree that this was always going to occur. So, John Hastings, not only am I offering you a spot, I'm offering you my spot.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
A passing of the torch.
Yeah.
A passing of the torch.
And much like Kurt Hennig did when he got Arn Anderson's spot, I'm going to slam a door on Colt Cabana's head after the show.
And with that, it's kind of an end of an era. It looks like Brendon Burns will be stepping down from the show in Edinburgh, but the good news is that John Hastings more than likely will be taking over. And you could hear it in the podcasts where Brendon was down for 5 days. John and I have really fun chemistry, and I am looking forward to coming back to the Fringe with a new show and a new co-host. And just like that, I'd like to give a huge thanks to Brendon Burns for being my partner for the last 6 years. He's going to take a bit of a break. He'll be back. They all come back, right? It's not goodbye. It's see you later. That will cap off the end of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for me and for you. And before we go, how about we listen to some plugs and
upcoming events.
All right, the best way that you can support ColtMerch.com, digitalcolt.com, Twitter and Instagram at Colt Cabana, Facebook /Colt Cabana /AOW podcast. Each week I'll choose one person who reviews and rates 5 stars on iTunes and send them a signed show ticket from the Japanese promotion DDT, my storytelling podcast, Pro Wrestling Fringe, plus past archives of the show are ad-free on StitcherPremium.com/Colt. Use the code Colt, get a free month. ColtWrestling@gmail.com is my very public email. Maybe you're a promoter, want to put me on your upcoming show or convention or even be documented on this very podcast. I do have a YouTube channel. I also have a website, ColtCabana.com. That's where you can find my P.O. Box, Flannel Graph Records. They sent me some more Terry Funk goodies. Paul sent me an original ECW New Jack shirt. I'm stoked for that. Christina, sweetheart, as always, sent me such a nice card. Zach Thompson also sent me an original Lanny Poffo Frisbee, which you know I'm getting autographed at All In this week. Upcoming Thursday and Friday, August 30th and 31st, Chicago, Illinois, AAWrestling.com. Saturday, September 1st, Hoffman Estates, WGN pay-per-view. It's All In. Sunday, September 2nd, Schaumburg, Illinois, 10:30 to noon, Live Art of Wrestling, Starcast.com. Sunday night, Chicago Heights, Illinois, WarriorWrestling.net. Wednesday and Thursday, September 5th and 6th, London. Friday, September 7th, Portsmouth, England, RevolutionProWrestling.com. Saturday and Sunday, September 8th and 9th, Manchester, England, WrestlingMediaCon.com. Friday, September 14th, Cleveland, Ohio, AIWrestling.com. Saturday, September 15th, Hazeltown, Pennsylvania, PPWWrestling.com. Sunday, September 16th, East Greenwich, Rhode Island, a 1 o'clock show and a 6 o'clock show, BeyondWrestlingOnline.com. Friday, September 21st, Westbrook, Maine, LimitlessWrestling.com. Saturday, September 22nd, Wyandotte, Michigan, GoBCWA.com. Friday, September 28th, Las Vegas, Nevada, ROHWrestling.com. And October 4th and 5th, I have the weekend open. Maybe you know somebody. Intro music, The Ukulele Teacher on YouTube. Outro music, super fun, yeah, Rocket Ship. Podcast cover art and design by Jimmy Lee. Photo by James Musselwhite. Thanks to Brendon Burns, Alice Fraiser, Tom Walker, Glenn Wool, Ari Shaffir, and John Hastings for being on the show. Thanks to our sponsors, highspots.com, a VOD service that is untouchable. $5 wrestling, Kevin Steen Show, plus AMA knee pads, gear, masks, even a wrestling ring that was just delivered to 1 Hour Tees, who is our other sponsor. They help run ProWrestlingTees.com. That's the place you can support your favorite independent wrestler directly. All right, friends, back to normal business starting next week. It's going to be a fun one. I hope you keep up on the internet with the weekend. This has been The Art of Wrestling for Colt Cabana. I'm Colt Cabana. Thanks. You guys learned a little bit about me. I'm not the smartest egg in the pantry. So, right, I don't do a, what if I was I'm just texting, hold on a second. I don't necessarily do stand-up, and I don't really understand your culture, which, that sounds so Russian of me, like, I don't understand, nope, I don't do impressions either. But I like being at the Fringe, and I like seeing shows, and I like just being a part of the Fringe because I love it. I think it's so cool. So I was reading on the on Google the top 50 jokes of the Ed Fringe. Okay, so I would like to read some of those. Okay, but here's the thing: the point is I'm not gonna take credit for them. I honestly need you to explain them to me. Okay, thank you. Okay. Patriarchy is putting Jane Austen on 10-pound notes the same time as bringing in contactless. Okay, good. Now, I need 3 things explained to me. Patriarchy, Jane Austen, and contactless. Okay, right, in my head, first of all, in my head, Jane Austen is the sister of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then contactless, the only thing I could get from that is she had glasses and then she then had contacts and now she no longer has those contacts. And then, I don't know, I feel patriarchy is something like, I'm not this stupid, but right, but I've heard the word patriarchy, but something, I don't know, something about being American or something. Can anybody explain this to me? I know what a 10-pound note is, guys. I'm Jewish. Thank you. By a show of hand, can anyone explain it to me?
Well, Jane Austen's a writer.
Okay.
And the patriarchy is men being in charge.
Is men being in charge?
So when finally you get women on the money, they all go contactless where you use your credit card and you just swipe it, so you don't have to give any money.
Wait, contactless is not...
Yeah, the boot.
It's when you tap the thing?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. That's just called tapping the thing, isn't it?